Hey, Westside, we're here with Superintendent Connor. Talk a little bit about, this is almost reminiscing of last year, I feel like, in a bad way, but good way.
Yep.
We're fully going back to school September 1st or 2nd?
2nd.
September 2nd.
Yeah.
Fully back in school September 2nd. And we want to talk a little bit about obviously it's not totally like a regular year just yet, but we are fully back 5 days a week, and we just talk about some changes away from last year to get more back to normal and answer some questions. And again, obviously, if you have more questions, shoot us an email, schoolcommittee@wsps.org, and we can do another video, a longer video, to answer some of those questions. But we want to keep this short and just talk a little bit about the mask mandate that came down from DESE, as well as busing, because we want to get kids back on the buses to get away from the chaos of last year.
Absolutely.
And then a couple other things the superintendent wants to touch on. So let's start with the mask mandate. Obviously, that's everyone's attention, and it just happened yesterday.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, first and foremost, like you said, I think having, in comparison to last year, this is night and day.
Yeah.
We have kids coming back 5 days a week on day one. So that alone is huge, right? Because we have to put a mask on, yes, that's not normal, but to have kids starting on day one and all that excitement of what day one brings, not only to the kids, but also to parents and teachers. So we're fired up, we're ready to go, yeah. And so,
everyone, universal masking on day one. Everyone wear a mask. If you're going to visit, you wear a mask.
Yeah. So, anybody coming into any campus has to wear a mask.
That's so much like last year.
Yeah.
But when it comes to busing, that's back to normal. There's no more seating charts and all that stuff.
So if you remember last year, we had to have seating charts. Parents had to call in.
There's like one and other seating.
None of that.
Yeah.
None of that.
So everyone really should get back on the bus.
They should. And we're going to have the windows down. We talked to the bus company. That's part of their protocols. Windows down and masks on. As long as that's happening, there's no contact tracing on busing. So we're hoping people get back to the normalcy of putting the students on the bus,
which will alleviate a lot
of that traffic
issues.
Yeah,
Especially
Fawsey Middle School and John Ashley.
And as an aside, we are looking at redesigning that entire parking lot where it comes in with the middle school, potential of using the other access road and looking at it. Obviously, that's not going to happen this year. The design is already begun, but the construction will happen this year, but we are looking at fixing that for the future.
Right. So the mask mandate that came out from the commissioner yesterday, as we mentioned, is a requirement. That goes to October 1st. In the meantime, between school committee conversations, the commissioner did mention that he was going to be obviously looking at the data and giving us further guidance as we get closer.
And that's something we're going to do internally too. I mean, it's something that I've already asked our health staff to come up with. So really, you'll likely be hearing from your school nurse to get the vaccination data, so we can look at it on a rolling basis to see if they mentioned the 80% mark, how close we are to hitting that 80% mark, and we can go from there moving forward. But we definitely encourage you. There's going to be more vaccination clinics coming, I believe,
at the school, at the middle school and high school. So parents who want their 12 and above student vaccinated, we're going to have some opportunities for them to get vaccinated with the permission of the parent.
And the sooner we get close to the 80% mark, the sooner the masks go away too.
Right, absolutely. So it's difficult because there's not a vaccine for the younger ones. But yes, the magic percentage that they're throwing around at DESE is 80%, and so we got a ways to get there. We don't have huge numbers vaccinated right now at either one of the schools. So,
but I will say, I looked at the data yesterday. We are, for the younger ages, we are starting to get up there, which is looking better.
Good. Yeah, and so I think a lot of that is just giving opportunities for people to get it done.
And now you mentioned yesterday at the school committee meeting, again, we're filming this on Wednesday. If I don't post it on Wednesday, I apologize when I keep saying yesterday. But at the school committee meeting that we're going to have tents back, because lunches, I understand, will be a concern when they're on masks. Yeah,
I mean, lunches has been our, again, obviously you take your mask off to eat. And so that has been something that we've been focused on, the administration. They're all developing plans. Many have sent me their plans, and they look good. We're looking at some classroom situations where we'll be eating in classrooms. We're looking at, again, the tents, although the storm did set us back a little bit, putting those up.
All that wind.
But those will be returning. And then, as I mentioned last night at the meeting, the high school and the middle school, we're going to be using potentially the gym space. We're going to be using auditorium space at the middle school. So we're really trying to do whatever we can to reduce the amount of quarantining and stay as far away from any closure. That's the goal. We need to have kids in school 5 days a week, done. How we do that?
And there's more, and I really encourage, I know there's been some issues with our Channel 15 and the videos, but we do have our meeting from the other night on YouTube. And if there are more questions, again, we can probably bring maybe Christine and talk about what they're doing. But there's a lot of data, and they have a great plan, I think, around like the test and stays, the rapid testing we're going to be doing. A lot different from last year, obviously, because last year, it was new. We're in a pandemic. It was 4 or 5 months in when we were going back to school. We have a lot more in place this year to make sure that those schools stay open the whole time.
Yeah. And the scenarios are a little bit harder to fully understand. Even the health professionals right now are still weighing through it. Christine Beaumont's working closely with the Board of Health and Jean Galloway here. So we're not making things up. We're going to be using the DESE and DPH guidelines, but we're excited because there are more mitigation things we're putting into place to keep kids in school as much as we can.
All right, so I know that's more than 3 minutes, but again, if there are more questions, there's a lot more we could cover, and if there are more questions, we can go into it. But again, I really encourage you, Tuesday night's meeting, I should be on here, and if I can grab the link, I'll put it in this description as well, to watch that and hear from Dr. Callahan and Christine Beaumont that kind of talk about some of the methods that they'll be going through to make sure that we go through test and stays, and that kids, even if they are a contact, are able to stay with the masks and the distancing and all that. And again, I encourage you to get the vaccine. It's the best way we can guarantee our schools stay open and we can get through this whole Delta variant nonsense and move past the pandemic. The vaccine's the only way.
And Mayor, just one last thing. A letter will be going out to parents with the protocols and all of the testing options as well. Perfect. That'll be going out probably later today to all parents.
Awesome. And again, we're filming this on Wednesday, so we mentioned that. We probably won't go till the video won't be out tomorrow. You'll have all this information already. But again, questions, comments, concerns, always schoolcommittee@wsps.org. Thanks, Westside.
Thank you, Westside.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.